So do you have a business and plan to someday get business credit cards, business loan at some point? Did you know that you can build credit in your business name as opposed to your personal name? Question mark. I'm Joe Chavarria, and this is another episode of the Joe Credit Show. So today what I want to unpack is just how to begin the process of building business credit. What is business credit? How does that all work? And just kind of expose you to this world of business credit, because some people don't know that, a lot of business owners don't know that this exists, or how to go about building business credit, how to get business credit cards and things like that. So kind of want to introduce you to this topic, and with the series of other videos to follow around step-by-step procedures on how to build business credit. But to kind of build the framework, the foundation here, if you will, let's start off with just explaining this world that exists called business credit, and just kind of begin to elaborate on that. So business credit does exist. It's credit that is attached and linked to the company's EIN number, right? So when you start a business, typically entrepreneurs, they usually would just get like a DBA for, let's say I'm Joe Chavarria doing business as Joe Credit, right? Joe Credit is my company, and let's say I do credit services in that name, but it's a DBA. I'm still personally responsible and liable for anything that happens in the business because I did not separate that entity, right? I did not separate the two. It's still me, Joe Chavarria, as like the mothership, if you will, and the DBA that I set aside to do business as, that's still directly connected to me, the mothership. And when you start a business, the best thing to do is to separate the two, right? Personal and business. I want to begin to separate those two. And a great way to do that would be with like an LLC, or forming an S Corp or C Corporation. Those are some great ways to begin to separate the two. And when you file for your LLC, you file for your entity registration with the state that you're in. Generally, there are services out there that will also provide you or help you get your EIN number. Those that do not, you can just go to irs.gov and be able to get your EIN number. So your EIN number, which stands for Employer Identification Number, this is also known as your tax ID number. It's basically going to be like 2 digits in a series, I want to say, of 7 digits, very similar to a Social Security number, which is 2 digits first, dash 7 digits after that, or it's 5 digits. I always forget because I don't remember my EIN number by top of my head. Social Security number, remember that top of my head, but EIN number usually don't, and I got like 5 different EIN numbers. But anyway, so when you're building business credit is attached and linked to your EIN number, and that EIN number belongs to your entity, right? Your LLC, your S Corp, whatever it is. When you're building personal credit, right, when you have personal credit cards, personal loans, those accounts are linked to your Social Security number, and your Social Security number is linked to you personally. So now let's just kind of break down who the credit bureaus are and what the credit score ranges are for business credit and compared to personal credit. So for personal credit, you have the 3 main credit reporting agencies, right? You have Equifax, you have Experian, and you have TransUnion. Those are known as the big 3, the big 3 main credit reporting agencies, also known as credit bureaus. They're not government entities. These are for-profit companies. They buy and sell data on consumer data and business data. But these are the 3 main credit reporting agencies that we all have come to know. So that they specialize, or they collect personal credit data. They also collect business data. On the business side of things, the 3 main business credit bureaus, you have Equifax, you have Experian, but instead of TransUnion, you have Dun & Bradstreet, or DNB. Dun & Bradstreet is sort of like the pioneer of business credit reporting. Experian has gained a lot of traction, a lot of market share in the business credit space over the past 5 years, and Equifax also deals with business credit information. Now, when it comes to credit scoring, as you have known and have come to realize, that when it comes to your personal credit score, your FICO score is going to vary between 300 on the low side, 850 on the high end. So that is your credit score range, 300 to 850. Generally, when your score is like mid 600s into the 7s and the 8s, that's considered, good credit. 600s is like fair, 700s is like really good, and 800s and plus is like, excellent credit, right? Really 760 and above is considered excellent credit. When it comes to the business side, the business credit scoring space, business credit scores are gonna range between 0 to 100. And the main business credit score in the business score space is called your Paydex score. So the Paydex score is going to range from 0 to 100. And it's basically kind of like if you remember, like, you know, grade school, when you had like a 70 plus, that's considered passing, or some schools did 60 plus considered passing. Kind of same concept here. If your business credit score, if your Paydex score is 70 plus, that's considered, you know, passing, you know, low risk. Obviously, the closer you are to 100 credit score for your business, the more I guess the equivalent that is like a 760, 800 score on the personal side. So there are companies out there that will give credit cards to your company. Ideally, these companies, they want to see that you've been in business for at least 2 years, meaning the LLC has been filed and registered for at least 2 years. They want to see that the owner of the business, right, all owners of the business or whoever is applying for credit cards for the company, that their personal credit score, their personal FICO score is 700 or above. And they want to base it off of the approvals based on your largest credit limit. So let's say that your largest credit limit on your personal side is like $5,000. Generally, these business credit lenders, what they'll do is they'll do 3 to 5 times your largest credit limit in the form of approvals for your business. So if your largest one is, let's just say it's $5,000 on the personal side, then you could be looking at 15, maybe 25 grand in the form of business credit cards, maybe a couple of different business credit cards, a couple $10,000 limits, maybe a couple $5,000 limit business credit cards. And depending on how long you've been in business, that will determine, will these accounts report to the business credit bureaus only, or will some of these report to personal and business, or will some of them only report to personal only, right? So you can get business credit cards, and even if you're pre-revenue, even if you're just getting started, you can get business credit cards with large limits. A lot of them just depends on your personal credit report. But if your business has been open for at least 2 years and the LLC has been filed for that long period of time, or at least that period of time, there's a good probability that you can get more money on business in business credit cards, as well as avoid any personal credit reporting or anything like that, and also have these cards report to the business credit report and help business credit. So little cool thing on that. All right, guys, that is my time today. I hope you enjoyed this tidbit of information. I hope it was helpful, especially if you have a business. If you liked this video, if you found this information helpful, give me a thumbs up. Really do appreciate that. Also, if you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe. If you want to learn more about building credit or repairing your credit, check out the link in my bio to be able to do that. Again, it's Joe Chavarria here. This has been another episode of the Joe Credit Show. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.